All right. And with that, we can show you the current standings for the second round for the debate. You see now, our second round has in the first match we have Rain going up against Neil. Uh, and the second match is Zach against Corvin. So we with that, I guess we can start. Uh, so our first motion for the second round is mas malasa ba ang Ajisaki sa Imas? Okay, so Rain will be arguing for Ajisaki and Neil will be arguing for Imas. Rain, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. We can start in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the word of malasa can really be applicable to various contexts, right? So I'll be talking I'll be discussing this kung bakit Ajisaki is malasa in like 3 levels. Okay, so firstly, visuals. Let me tell you kung gaano ka lasa yung itsura ng mga Ajisaki na ulam and pagkain. Kita mo naman yung plating pang Master Chef. Meron kang blue plate, tas yung contrast nun is yung orange na mga bits of like tempura and kung ano mang gusto mo. Tapos may gulay pa sa side. So parang you have this rainbow of colors that really pleases your eye. And di ba sabi nga ng mga chefs na parang before you even eat, the first thing you taste is what you see. So, doon pa lang malasa na agad ang Ajisaki. Secondly, masarap at malasa sila not only because sobrang sarap ng blend of flavors and colors, but also, alam niyo ba yung sauce nila? Natatandaan niyo ba yun? Sobrang alat no? Like, I know this sounds like it's bad for my side, but if we're looking at the context of malasa, that's already something that's very variable. Right? You can control the level and the amount of sauce that's put into your food. So kung ano man yung gusto mong pagkalasa, kung ano man yung extent nun, kaya mo yun maayos kapag Ajisaki ka. Pero kung doon naman sa kabila, kung ano man pangalan nun, I forgot, they don't really have much options. Kung ano man yung options nila na toyo, asukal, stuff like that, we don't really have, like, it's not as fancy as the special sauce of Ajisaki. Joke lang, mahal ko kayo Kolais, pero yeah, you know what I'm doing. So, thirdly, the comparative here is that we still live in the Philippines, and this is a country that is bathed with colonial mindsets, right? And Ajisaki represents the Japanese culture. And doon tayo nahihirapan eh. If we fight for Filipino culture, yes, that's true. But we have to accept the fact that we're still like in the grasp of soft power by the Japanese. That's why, at the end of the day, Ajisaki is much more malasa.
All right. Your time is up. Neil, are you ready?
No.
Okay, we're going on anyways.
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, wait, Johnson.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, and on my side, I'm talking about Limas. So let me first talk about the first point Brainer brought up, which was the plating. In Ajisaki, although you have the blue plate, the orange ulam or viand, and the white rice and the colorful coleslaw, it's the same for almost every dish in Ajisaki, or almost every fried dish in Ajisaki, aside from the yakiniku and pagkain. Okay, so yun, yakiniku. And then next, in the lasa part, forgot what he said about lasa. So I'm gonna bring up some of my points na lang. First of all, Imas is more diverse when it comes to their food, and it's not only representing Japanese food. So they have, for example, they sometimes have spaghetti, which is Italian. They have some bread, which is Italian. They have pizza, which is Italian, and they have chicken curry, which is Indian. So those things make up for how malasa Imas actually is, because they don't just stick to one cuisine. They stick to a lot of cuisine, and frankly, they're doing it very, very well, because the lines always after math class are reaching the SHB hall at the back lobby. And second, in Imas, when you say plating, they put on the red plates, and their plates are diverse as well. They have the plate with no divisions, and they have the plate with 3 divisions, and that makes it more pleasing to the eye. It's not, in Filipino terms, nakakaumay, not only to the taste but also to the eyes. And lastly, in Imas, one time I got my food knocked over by the student in front of me, and I told the kuya server that kuya natapon po, sabi niya, it's okay, I will replace it for free. Have you seen that in Ajisaki? No.
All right. Thank you both for those wonderful speeches. Again, the announcement of the winners will be done at the conclusion of this round. And for that, I guess we can move on to the second match. And okay, so the second round of this, the second match for the second round. Saan ka mas likely makakakain ng daga o bimpo? Sa McDo or Jollibee? So to clarify on this motion, we're talking about a rat or a handkerchief, which is like daga or bimpo, like yeah, like either one of those in McDo or Jollibee. So Zach will be arguing for McDo and Corvin will be arguing for Jollibee. Zach, are you ready to start speaking?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, we start. Go, Zach.
Okay, first of all, there's this one article, right, that was around 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And actually, not just one, there's been multiple articles about daga being found near grills. And, well, actually, most of them are involving daga or mice being found in kitchen places, which which implies that most likely parts or the bits of those mouse be part of various foods, such as, let's say, fries, like the powder in it, or maybe the burger, like the meat in it. I don't know. We don't know because I haven't been to the kitchen facilities. But from the amount of articles that have shown up more recently, I think that kind of implies na, although sure, not only that, Jollibee came from Philippines, right? So most of them are in Philippines lang, like the branches. Compared to McDo, it's worldwide. It's in multiple countries, and there's higher chance to have, mouse or bimpo eaten from food compared to Jollibee because of the amount of branches it has worldwide. And I think I'm going to rest my case there.
All right. Zach with time to spare, ending his speech. All right. So, we can move on now to Corvin's speech. Corvin, G2 Esports Corvin Casas. Are you ready?
Yes po, yes.
All right. Sige. We can start in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so McDo and Jollibee, what do these two restaurants have in common? They're both greedy corporations, large corrupt corporations who only want your money. So, in the case of Jollibee, there's this incident already, yung fried towel incident, that caused that branch to close. Pero, what was the reason na there was a fried towel in the first place? It's because muntikan lang nakatulog yung worker na yun at di niya napansin na towel na pala ang nalagay niya dun sa pagkain. And this is where the problem comes. Both of these corporations are overworking the workers. They are oppressing the workers of this nation. And even though McDo has a really large worldwide reach, let's take this into the context in the Philippines. So far, only Jollibee has a record in their anecdotal Bisaya stuff. And with these workers, kasi dito sa Philippines, usually when you're looking for a part-time job, you'd like to go to fast food jobs kasi easy entry naman sila. And we've also had issues here in the Philippines about labor stuff, and I guess that's where I can end my speech.
All right. Sige. All right. Thank both of you for the speeches, and okay, we can move on now to the announcement of the winners with that, actually, because that was only two matches in this round, so we can move on. So, as the judges are making their decisions first, we can wait like 30 seconds there. All right.
Am I audible?
All right. Yes. So, our
Okay.
timer is up, and from the judges panel, Ethan C will be giving his input on the debates for the second round.
Okay, so for the first, okay, let's just go over through the scores that we did. So for the first motion, I guess you could say it, with the Ajisaki versus Imas thing, I would say, oh wait, no, the judges went on a 3-0 decision, and we favored Neil to win this. And then for the second motion, the judges went on a 2-1 split,
Okay.
and we favored Corbin to win this. So Jollibee and then
Okay. Sure.
and then what's this, Imas? Yes. So for the first one, I actually liked the argumentation in the first one. There was a lot of clashing, and the analysis I can give is like, first of all, when we're talking about Imas versus Ajisaki, these when we talk about food in general, this is extremely subjective, right? And like, it's not like Imas or Ajisaki is like in Pisay like at the same time most of the time. Like, remember in grade 9, we would usually only have like Ajisaki like sa mga fairs or stuff like that, and Imas was mostly like the, you know, I guess they had the monopoly on the students' lunch for grade 9. But so let's go over what Rain said first. To be fair, Rain said a lot of things, even though the judges favored Neil. He did talk about 3 levels of how malasa can be defined. So first, he talked about the visuals of Ajisaki. He talked about the plating, and he also talked about the sauce. Personally, I can agree with that, with the how you can decide how much sauce you want to put, and then same thing. And then he went in with the colonial mentality and how like it represents how like Japanese have this hold on Philippine culture and stuff like that. So a lot of things that why most of the judges favored Neil is because he was able to reply to a lot of these very properly, because again, a lot of it is subjective, and I think he was able to flesh out, but like personally, just for me, I think he was able to flesh out the reasons like way more. So when we talk about dishing, again, like personally, I don't remember that much about the dishing of like Ajisaki or Imas, but he did say it is the same for almost fried dish. In my opinion, I don't think the dishing would quite matter, because that's not necessarily provided by the actual like restos in Pisay. That's kind of something that's more on like, that's kind of just like the resources that Pisay has, or something like that. So I don't really want to talk about the plating. I want to talk more about when they talk about diversity, right? And so yes, it's true that Ajisaki is mostly limited to just Japanese cuisine, which is fine. But it is also true that Imas is way more diverse, and like that is including the same cuisine, but not every single dish that Ajisaki has, right? Like they had the yakiniku and stuff like that. So when we talk about how much something good tastes, I think what both of the speakers are trying to say is they were trying to compare it in terms of how much people eat and how much people would eat. And so I thought there could have been a point brought up about how Ajisaki didn't exist at the same time as Imas, right? Like not all the time at least. But I think Neil took this point because yes, it is true that Imas is more diverse, and that the lines there were really, really long. And aside from all the Kuya server replacing his his plates, like that was funny and stuff. But I think generally Neil was able to number one, he's able to rebut to a lot of things that Rain said, even though it's like, again, this is like principally arguing, and he was able to flesh it out more for us. And then okay, so we go to the second round, and I think honestly all of the judges kind of agreed that it was kind of confusing because to be quite honest, not much was brought up about this. So when we talk about it's not like we expect you to have like statistical analysis just for this weird motion, right? Like it's completely fine. But what I mostly got from that is that, well, number one, you're most likely to accidentally eat like a rat or some shit or something in McDo because of the cases that's appeared before. But like that's something that kind of again, it's like there's no actual statistical analysis. McDo being worldwide though is something that we can agree with. Is McDo is like a worldwide food chain, and then they can expand to like not only the Philippines, not only in other like third world countries, but also first world countries. And like despite like just with the sheer number, it is kind of more likely that yeah, it is. Wait, sorry. The judges are okay. My bad. Yeah, yeah. It's more like he did. That's kind of what all I got is that he said it's more likely that you're going to see this simply because of the sheer number of chains that Macdo has. For Corbin, I like that he brought up about like the whole. These two are actually kind of just the same. They're both greedy corporations and they treat their workers the same. And with the Jollibee fried towel and stuff like that, and like that's happened before. So from what I understood from Corbin at least is because Jollibee is mostly based on the Philippines and it's mostly like a third world country. It's very likely that a lot of these incidents have already happened, mostly because the workers here are very, like number one, very underpaid, especially in comparison to those in first world countries, and then other things as well, like they're sleepy. It's mostly just about the overwork. And Macdo has I didn't really get this last point, but Macdo has will to ride reach and only never yeah. So that's kind of what the judges decided, and that was like my personal input on it. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ethan. So as Ethan has stated in his commentary, Corvin and Neil will be moving on to the final round. So congratulations, and we're going to see you in the final round in just a bit. All right. So to recap on the last round, Corvin and Neil passed on to our final round, and we're going to be seeing them debate here today in our double round final round. All right. So we're now going to move on to the motion, and our motion for the final round is, Jansen, if you would. Is it better to poop in the sink or to sink in the poop? Okay. So Neil will be arguing for it being better to poop in the sink, and Corvin will be arguing that it would be better to sink in the poop. Again, to clarify again, it's similar to the adultery motion, where the prompts can be taken by the debaters, by the contestants in however they want. So like that's how they express it. So we're going to give them 30 seconds to ponder the motion. All right, Neil, are you ready for your final
Yes.
speech? For your speech, all right.
Yes.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Jansen, sir.
Okay, so it's better to poop in the sink, because I cannot think of any reason why you would sink in the poop, or if sink is a noun, you would put your sink in the poop. Because when you poop in the sink, if poop is a verb in this case, that means there are more advantages to that, because when you poop in the sink, it's in case of an emergency, when your toilet is broken or your toilet is clogged by more poop. So when you poop in the sink, you get to relieve yourself, and you even if your sink will be broken. But when you sink in the poop, what does that get you? Of body spa, a body scrub, or anything? No, it doesn't. You cannot use poop as a facial mask or as a moisturizer, because it will not moisturize you nor your face. And next, when you put your poop in the sink, it will create an artistic effect in the sink. You can use your poop to draw many caricatures of people. You can use the poop to draw, our president. I'll just
Timer
stop
reset,
when
but
it hits the 1 minute mark.
Yes, all right.
So when you use the poop as paint, that means you have more you can express yourself more creatively in the bathroom without being bored. Because when you sink in the poop, what do you get? You can't bring your phone with you, right? Because your phone will be broken, even if you're probably going to be dead the moment you come out. But you cannot bring your phone in while you're sinking. But when your poop is in the sink, you can use the sink to draw caricatures, for example, of politicians and other students or yourself. And also, when you put your poop in the sink, that means it's the same as vomiting, because when you vomit, it also comes from the stomach, and you know what else comes from the stomach? Poop. So you wouldn't say you would sink in the vomit. You wouldn't sink in the vomit, but you would vomit in the sink. And I wouldn't sink in the poop. I would poop in the sink.
All right.
All right. Since the timer cut out in the right in the middle of around the 1 minute mark, we're going to let we're going to stop Neil there, and we can continue with Corvin's speech. Corvin's speech of the round. All right. We can go. Corvin, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, so when we think of poop, we are disgusted, okay? Kasi it's our waste. So when you think of sinking in the poop, you would be disgusted. You would really avoid it. But for me, sinking in the poop is actually very poetic. Let's compare it to pooping in the sink. Can your poop fit in the sink in the first place? No, it cannot. Unless you have a big sink. Okay, that's an exception. But sinking in the poop is very poetic because we are. It's showing our resilience to accept the things that we are disgusted in. We are going with the flow. We are fighting the stigma on the poop. See, the poop is very oppressed entity in this world. I think it's just another waste that uh, can be thrown away to the trash. But in the end, the poop shows the how sinking in the poop shows how we as people go through hard challenges and sinking through. Thank you.
All right. So Neil, are you ready for your second speech?
Yes.
All right. Sige. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I would like to point out one thing you said earlier. You said that can your poop fit in the sink? No, it cannot. What if I have diarrhea? What if I poop something like pebbles? That means my poop can fit in the sink. So when you say that my poop cannot fit in the sink, that doesn't apply every time. Therefore, that was very offensive for me. That has diarrhea. Second, you said that putting you sinking in the poop is very poetic because it means you are facing all of life's challenges and not avoiding it. Yes, it might be poetic, but that doesn't mean it's already good advice because when you sink in the poop, that will kill you almost instantly. And even in a poetic sense, when you face all your problems in life without ignoring them, sure, you're going to be fighting those problems more efficiently. But if you choose to ignore those problems, then that means but if the problems are too much for you to handle, you will eventually break down, or in the case of sinking in the poop, you will eventually die. Therefore, it might be poetic. And what now if it's poetic? Does it mean that it's good advice for many people? Does it mean that people should follow that? No. And next, and you said that the manhole, when people fall in the manhole or the sewers, they will be worried. But when you poop in the sink, they will be angry. But I don't agree, because what if your parents found you? What if your parents saw you really have a lot of urge to poop, but you can't poop because your toilet is broken? Your parents will get worried because you have nowhere to spill all your spaghetti. So what do is you go to the sink, you poop. Your parents are gonna be relieved as well. Not only your parents, also maybe the people you're living with, because that means that you finally relieved yourself, and you won't get a chance to have diseases that arise from keeping your poop inside you without letting it out. So pooping in the sink does not only cause anger, it also causes relief.
All right, your time is up. Thank you for that speech. And I guess we can go now back to Corvin for his second part of his speech. So, Corvin, are you ready to rebut that those arguments? Starting again for Corvin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so you mentioned that diarrhea is something I overlooked, so I would like to apologize for that. So let's start over. So, see, pooping in the sink again will obviously make your sink dirty. So I can't really tell any difference if you're pooping anywhere, really. So if you're pooping anywhere, you can sink in the poop. Let's look at third world countries with poop everywhere. Okay, they're already sinking in poop, literally. And what are we doing to stop this? Huh? Let we poop in the sink? No, we clean up the poop by sinking in the poop out of the frying pan and back into it. And now, you mentioned the relief relief of your parents because you can't hold your urges of pooping because your toilet is broken and you have to poop in the sink. Let me mention again that we can poop anywhere. This is a free world. We are not being oppressed. We are humans. We have freedom. We are independent. We can't. Is there a law that says we can poop anywhere? In China there is, but disregard it. So I can edit there. Thank you.
All right. So the time is going to be up, and as Corvin concludes his speech there, we'll be going over to the judges for them to decide the winner for that final debate. So for our judges, from our judges panel, is Hans Arnaldo to give his commentary and input. Hans?
Okay. So for the final decision, on a unanimous decision, we gave it to Neil, and simply because there's more legwork to their arguments, and like he's sufficiently impacted by telling us like their concrete benefits, and like Corvin, like yeah, he has strong arguments, but it doesn't sufficiently take down Neil's points and not enough legwork to support their claims. So like what happened throughout the round? So like Neil gave us arguments that that pooping in the sink gets you to relieve yourself in case of emergency, and that there's the artistic effect to the sink and by having the caricatures and by providing us many options. But and Corvin responded to this by saying that like it might be like there's like it wouldn't be possible because there's this unlikely occurrence that there would be not a large enough sink, and it wouldn't, and there's like an exception to like so in large sinks, and there's also the situation wherein people or like their parents would be angry or like maybe disgusted by it, but they gave us this argument of it being poetic and it sending a message of showing the people that they are resilient and that they can stand for themselves. But Neil has sufficiently responded to this by saying that the instance of them sinking in the poop doesn't have any concrete benefits, and like it doesn't matter because what actually matters is their arguments by saying that it relieves them and it outweighs the anger brought by pooping in the sink, because you don't have any diseases and you can relieve yourself. And this and we appreciated this because like it compares the contrast between the poetic side of it and like the emotions gathered into this poop sink relationship. And like Corvin on the other hand might have been lacking towards Neil's points. Like they didn't really engage with Neil's claims, and they may have said that pooping anywhere except the sink isn't special, and we appreciated this because like it really gave us the real life situations of how it's really dumb and like the case study about China, but it doesn't like really engage on how the emotions of the actors, like how it relieves them not being able to poop and how it really outweighs the anger caused by it. So like decision stands. We gave it to Neil.
All right. So to announce that, announce our final winner now, we have, or rather, well, he's already announced it. But as you may have heard from Hans earlier, Neil, you are our grand final winner, and congratulations, first of all.
Congratulations.
And, yes. So,
To recap the bracket, this is how it went. But now that we have Neil as a winner, here's your winning slide. Oh my god!
Thank you.
There we go.
thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to all, and to the viewers. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you continue to enjoy Neverland 2021. With that, we'll be seeing you. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.